Plato writes in his later work, Critias, of Atlantis, that the walls were, on the outside, blazing red with orichalcum. This is the word used in Revelation by John the Apostle from chapter 1, verses 12 through 16. Then I turned to see the voice that was speaking with me, and having turned I saw 7 golden lampstands. Among the lampstands was one, the Son of Man, dressed in a long robe with a golden sash around his chest. The hair of his head was white like wool, and his eyes were blazing fire. So we have white and red, right? His feet were, and here's the word that was translated incorrectly, but if you look it up in the Greek, it's orichalcum. And it's incorrectly translated as polished bronze, refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the roar of many waters. He held in his his right hand, 7 stars, and a sharp double-edged sword came from his mouth. His face was like the sun shining at its brightest. So you see the sun shining, it's yellowish, white. You see his eyes are red, and orichalcum is defined by Plato as reddish, blazing red, but that might have been the reflection from the sun. Orichalcum is to be believed by many scholars as a bronze, type of bronze, not specifically one used by what people would say was bronze, but a more refined copper, tin, and nickel extract, metal alloy. Now, the reason I'm making this video is to dispel the myth that many people have that Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, was negroid, black, African American, however you want to say that, ethnicity of man. That's heresy. John the Revelator specifically writes in this passage that he didn't look like what he knew, because he knew the man, and to describe him as such, in such a way, is paramount to the importance of people's mistranslation of this passage. You have to know that he wasn't white, he wasn't Asian, he wasn't black, or any of these things. He was a Hebrew from Semitic culture, born to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham, of course, had many sons. He had 7 sons by Keturah, who was negroid. So there are Midianites or darker skin, but Christ was not of that lineage. He was of Jacob. And he was probably 5'2", dark skin, brown curly hair, brown eyes. Not much to look at. But he wasn't black, and he wasn't white. And so if you think that he looked like Caesar Borgia, how do you say that last name? You're wrong. He wasn't 6'2", white man with light brown sandy hair down to his shoulders. That's ridiculous. But he wasn't black either. Jesus Christ was... His physical appearance is not important, but to know that he was of the lineage of David, through Judah, through the branch of Jesse, is very important to understand. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. The mistranslation of the word 1:15. Its feet were like polished bronze refined in a fire. So, you know Moses had white hair when he came down from the mount after he talked with Elohim Yahweh, because the glory of the Father just illuminated him and changed his physical appearance, modified his ethnicity look to that of something spectacular, and people who saw him bowed down before him. They couldn't look at him. They couldn't bear to see his face. So the glory of God does something to a man's physical appearance, and the man flesh of Yeshua HaMashiach was drastically changed. And this is God, the appearance of God, the destination of God, the glory of God manifest in the personal visage will change you. And it did. Anyway, Jesus isn't black. He wasn't white. He was a Jew. And anyway, that's all I have to say, because what else is there?